we're going to do rainbow trout. You might have seen our videos before for coho salmon from Roundfish Butchery. Today we're going to do rainbow trout, a little bit different process. Pretty much same exact process of filleting, but this time the end product a little bit different because it's such a smaller fish, softer bone, so a little bit different. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to second quarter. My name is Varin. Mostly everyone calls me Chef V. And today we'll be doing some more round fish fabrication. We have some rainbow trout today. Okay. So here you can see one specimen. Still has scales on it. It's a little bit shiny. You can see where it's maybe some of the scales came off. Okay. This one's already been fully scaled. Okay, and remember last time we used a tool like this, the Japanese brass scaler. Great tool to have. Okay. All right, so we'll get started. You can scale it now. Again, one thing I like to do for fish sometimes is to put down a paper towel so it doesn't slip or slide too much. Again, when you're handling fish, you definitely want to handle it gently, or else later on it becomes really difficult for you to handle and fillet and pin bone. Really tough because you are possibly ruining the flesh. So first thing we do is take the head off. As you can see, this time it's head on. So we'll take the head and collar off at the same time. So we'll hold this pectoral fin, go right behind it, and cut towards the spine and do the same thing on the other side. Okay. Once you get to the spine, right down. All right. And there is your first step, is to take off the head. Second is to fillet it. Remember last time we took off the top fillet first, so we'll cut right through there and cut the fillet off. Again, I gently lift up the belly, cut right through, and we are cutting the fillet off like so. You should be able to hear the bones. Once you get here, just simply cut, lift up, and we have our first fillet there. Last time when we cut salmon, we did not flip it over. For trout, I like to flip it over. The bones are quite soft, and I don't want to cut through the spine. And this time, I take my thumb on my left hand and gently lift up the belly. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. So there is your carcass. For trout, it's so little we're not going to scrape the meat off. So that is step 2, is to take the fillets off the carcass. So now we have 2 fillets. The next step is to remove all the fins. So again, you have your ventral fin that you want to cut through. If there is a little bit of dorsal fin and adipose fin left here, you want to cut that off too. Okay. I like to trim the tail just slightly. Same thing on the other side. Okay, we'll clean the top. All right. Once we get here, the next move is to take off the rib cage. So, from last time, what we're going to do is cut right under, sort of aim our knife up slightly, take it off. Remember, the bones stop right there, so you can actually tear it back if you wanted to. So we'll get it to about right there. And one more time back here. And there is your rib cage. You can kind of see all the bones right there. Again, on this side, last time we talked about if you're right-handed. For me, I typically cut towards the center of my body. So I'm going to cut towards the left. It's a little bit difficult for me to cut this way for a finesse cut. Okay, so again, we're going to go like that. Once we get there, right to the bone, you can also gently rest your palm on the fillet and just tear it off. Okay. That works too. So again, that was step 4. Right there is to take off your rib cage. Step 5 and the final step is to take out the pin bones. If you recall last time, what we did was pull them out with tweezers or pliers. And this time, what we're going to do is actually cut them out because they're so small and it's a little bit faster. Remember that they go in towards the loin. Okay, the bones go in this way towards the top of the fish, not the bottom. So you want to cut towards that way. Okay, so what I do, I go in and remember for, depending on the size of the fish, it could be from the middle line, from the spine, it could be 1 centimeter up to 1.5 inches up, depending if it's a huge fish. This one is probably not even 1 centimeter above, but you can kind of see them. So what I'm going to do is cut right below them at an angle towards the top. Again, these bones go down about 2/3 of the fish. Now on the other side of the bones, and you really want to get your fingers in there so that you can actually see the skin on each side. Because at this point, what we're going to do is put our thumb right down to the skin and pull that piece off. So from there, what we have is a piece like this, and you can kind of see all of the pin bones are right inside of there. Okay, it's a faster way to take out pin bones. Of course, what do we do with this giant hole in the middle of our fish? We can gently press it back together. And when we go to saute or sear this, the proteins coagulate and it helps it come back together. So there's one. We'll do the same thing on this side again. Pin bones are there. Aiming the knife towards the loin. And again, pressing my thumb in there and pulling out that piece of meat. There you have it. All the pin bones are right inside of there, as you can see. And again, pushing the fillet back together. And here you have a finished skin on trout fillet, pin bone out. Okay, so again, step 1 was remove the head and collar. Step 2, take the fillets off. Step 3, fins. Step 4, rib cage. And step 5, pin bones. And there's your final product.